Hey guys, I did not know y'all were in here and I was doing some things downstairs. I forgot to um, set it for a certain time. Just checking in with everyone. As you guys know, well, let me say hi first. Hi, Wolfang. Hi, RP. I don't know if you guys are still in here because you were in here a little bit ago and I uh, forgot that I didn't set it for a scheduled time. I just set it up. So, um, I was just checking in because, as you guys know, I did my first meetup, which was very, very cool. Um, the weather was nice all but one day. There was one day where it rained all day, but we actually still made it work. It was kind of a lot of fun, and we taught some awesome classes. And hey, Hunter, and worked together. It was pretty neat that as soon as we got there, everyone kind of picked a task or worked together on the primary task. So nobody had to tell anybody to get up and do something. Nobody had to ask anyone to go do anything. We all just literally got up and started getting things done that needed to get done. For instance, putting the tarps up, helping with the tents, helping putting tarps over tents, helping to gather wood, chop wood, move things around. Like we all worked so well together to just get camp set up before the sun went down, which I thought was really, really awesome. Hey, Love and Life. Hey, Stray Kitten. Um, so a lot of you guys did not know that hubby and I actually were up there for the week prior to the meetup. We spent the entire week up there with just us and a friend of ours for the first 4 days or 5 days, and just kind of relaxed and unplugged and took everything in, which is why you didn't really see me. I think I went live from the campfire once, but I didn't really spend a whole lot of time online or um, doing emails or text messages. We went there to just unplug and to de stress and just get away from the chaos in the world and to kind of get ready for the meetup. And it was really nice to be able to spend that time and just absorb nature and be a part of nature. Then we were in a different area of the camp. And then once the meetup came, we had a couple of people meet us the night before. And then the day of the meetup, we moved from our location on the same property to the location where the meetup was. So we had to pack everything up, move it all up or move it all over and put it all up again. But we got it done really, really quick. We got to do the forging class, which was some of us did. Some of us had to leave early because of work. Um, some of us, I didn't leave early. Some people had to leave early because of work, but there was some that got to do the forging class, which was about, I want to say 2 hours maybe. We did the forging class this time because then it got dark. And this time of year, there was completely different stuff than the year that um, Marco and I went uh, last year, I want to say, or a year and a half ago. So when we went last time, it was summer, springtime. So the blueberries were all fully ripe and we got to eat the heck out of them, which was cool. But this year, we actually got to pick some wild passion fruit, which was really, really neat. And we got to um, I got to find another herb. I can't remember what it's called now, but I wrote it down. I should share it with y'all, but it's an herb that is actually very, very good for sleeping. So I took some of that so that I could dehydrate it and keep it, and some sassafras, and let's see what else. We learned some really cool things. There was also some herbs there that were uh, equivalent to like LSD type plants. So we pretty much stayed clear of those. We didn't need any weird stuff going on at camp. But they had these big, like spiky, almost like fruit looking things on them, but it was just full of spikes. It was really weird. But we had almost the whole area to ourselves, the whole camp area to ourselves. We had our section, but the entire property, other than one other family, we had the whole property. So we did get to walk around and go up different trails, and we went to the river, and the water felt kind of cool, but it was already a little bit chilly in the evening. Because it was cooler, we didn't have a whole lot of bugs, which was definitely a change from going there in the summer. Hey, Johnny, we got to cut down some trees and chop some wood together, and we got to teach one of the members how to build a fire and light it with a ferro rod, which was pretty awesome. They did it pretty quick, and they did a really good job. We got to learn some basics on some radios, communications, and I have videos of all this, guys. It's just going to take me a little while to edit everything. But we did get to do some radio basics and learn the different kind of instruments to use, and which ones are for long range and which ones are for short range, which ones can are only going to stay within your state or can actually go out of the country. And we learned about satellite radios and just all different kinds of radios. It was a lot of information that I probably should have wrote some of it down, but luckily I have the teacher's phone number, so I'll probably be hitting him up quite often to get more information that I may have forgotten. We got to learn about different tools and which tools to use for which jobs. So, and we all got to kind of use each other's tools. So, like when we were cutting wood and chopping wood and making kindling, we were able to use each other's hatchets and axe and knives and saws, and it was just different brands. So we got to test each other's items out to see what we may be interested in getting later on, or what we might have kind of thought might be a good fit, but then after using it we were really not thrilled about it for whatever reason. So we did get to share each other's tools and use each other's tools and teach each other how to use the tools. I got to use a bow drill for the very first time. I was super excited about that. I got the fire started. I have the video of that. I'm going to share that with you guys. But that was very, very cool. If you all have not used a bow drill, y'all need to try it. It was just so neat to get fire from basically 2 sticks and some string. I thought it was just awesome, and having everybody cheer me on and coach me and tell me what I need to do it was really great. It was a learning experience. It wasn't just me teaching, it was me learning, and that's really what I wanted the meetup to be about, was for us to learn and teach each other. And I learned quite a bit. I got to use the magnesium, I think it's magnesium stone, and the steel. It almost looked like a horseshoe, and I got to make sparks with that, which was my first time doing that. I thought that was pretty cool. Irishman, hey, are you home now? You can come up and remind me of anything I'm forgetting or may forget about. If you want to come up, I will share the link. Let me know. We got to have some awesome food. We had someone who brought some food to share that they had marinated and cooked up for us. And let me tell y'all, it was amazing. Yes, Flint and Steel, thank you. It was absolutely amazing. It just literally melted in your mouth as soon as you put it in your mouth. Hey, JD, I didn't see you sneak in. We got to share stories with each other. We got to get to know each other and about our families and our backgrounds and our goals and our fears and what keeps us going, what keeps us moving forward. Some really amazing campfire chats. Hey, Ark. Just to talk with each other. There was a couple of things that had happened. I wish I would have gotten this on camera, but we did have someone come running out of their tent because they saw, okay, so our campground, guys, I'm not kidding when I say there were spiders everywhere in the evening, like everywhere. There was big spiders, but most of the spiders were daddy long legs. But because they were everywhere, they also were on the tops of tents. So one particular person that was there saw the spiders on the top of their tent and thought they were inside of their tent. So they went running out of their tent, and they came running out so fast that I literally thought a bear was coming around the tent. So it made me jump. And Irishman, actually, him and I were talking about, I think, radios, and he had his back turned, but he saw me jump and was just like, well, I don't know what's behind me, but I didn't move fast enough. Whatever it is, it's going to get me because you sure jumped. And I had to laugh because it was actually a person come running out of their tent. And we found out later it was because they thought all the spiders were inside their tent. So hi, ETP. So that was a lot of fun. I do have a couple of bloopers that I'm going to put into one video that's outtakes and kind of bloopers. I did miss some stuff that had happened that was fun. I accidentally almost killed Irishman with a block of wood. I apologize, though, and hopefully he forgave me. But it definitely came close to him. Let's see what else we got to do. Oh, I taught them how simple tinctures were. Super simple to make, so easy. I got them started, so hopefully they will make tons of tinctures. So we sat and we did that. We talked about different herbs, and we learned some basic bushcrafting and watched Virginia Bushcrafter make like feather sticks and just different things, but really the feather sticks was the neatest thing. They showed me how to make a bird's nest. Irishman and Virginia Bushcrafter showed me how to make a bird's nest, which was pretty neat. And that's actually what they put together for me for the bow drill, amber, that I got to put in there and blow, and I burned my hand, but it's all right. I'm all good. Oh, yep, tarps. I talked about that kind of a little bit at the beginning, but oh, yeah, water filtration. So the tarps, guys, because we knew the rain was coming, we had to put up this big, huge tarp over the area where we were going to teach the classes, which was really good because Saturday it rained from probably about 8 o'clock in the morning until it was supposed to rain till 8 o'clock that night, but it actually stopped about 4:30 in the afternoon. But we just kept teaching under this tarp. We had to put the huge tarps up over the tables and some tarps over some camping areas of individuals and over tents and so forth. And we got to play with some tent stakes, or tent poles, not stakes. We got to play with some tent poles that we hadn't used before. So that was an interesting experience to try to get them tied down at an angle that it would hold the tarp up, but that it wasn't in the way of anyone driving by or driving out or in. So that was quite interesting. And then trying not to kill ourselves in the evening when we couldn't see them was a whole other story too. So, yep, then we had the water filtration. We decided that, well, I was not part of this. I just watched them, but they decided to collect some rainwater because the rain was super, super heavy. And they had set it up to where the water was running off of the tarp that we had set up into somebody's camping bowl, basically. And then they taught us how to filter it through a couple times. And I think one of them they boiled and one of them they didn't because it was just rainwater. But we probably could have filled up a couple gallons of water with how much rain was collected easy on Saturday. Hey, RP. I am Irishman. I'm going to put this in. I don't know if you're home or not, but I don't know what else I'm missing. I know that you had plans tonight, but there's that if you want to come in and remind me of anything I'm missing. Oh, we were supposed to do firearms, guys, and my firearms instructor was there, but the day that the meetup started, was supposed to start. We had a couple people there. He got a phone call he had a family emergency and had to turn around and go straight back to South Carolina, hauling butt. He is okay. Everything is okay. But we ended up not being able to do the firearms because he had an emergency, and we adapted. We understood sometimes things happen that are out of your control, and we just decided to move along and continue to do other things. So we're going to do another meetup in the spring, and it's going to be here in South Carolina. So he will be there, so that way if he has an emergency, it's literally just not that far away, and then he can come back after everything is taken care of. Hey, Tracy. Let's see, honey, what else did we do? Oh, we did a wine tasting. We got to do the wine tasting. I told you guys they had different wines that they brew. I don't know if it's called brewing, but they make off of their own land, the fruit on their land and the flowers on their land. So we got to do a wine tasting, which we did before the foraging. Next time, I think we're going to do that the other way around, do the foraging first and then the tasting, because tasting like 7 different wines before you go out foraging is probably not that smart. But it was a lot of fun, and there were some new flavors in there. I got to try blueberry, which was really, really good, and ended up being one of the people's favorites. They ended up taking one of those bottles home. Fermentation, yes. Let's see, tarps, radios, fire, herbs, foraging, wine tasting. Couple of them got to see all the fur babies, which was pretty cool. There was someone else who brought one of their fur babies, and I think their fur baby and one of my fur babies fell in love because they were just constantly together with each other, which was a lot of fun to watch them play. They were both in puppy stages, so they played around and wore each other out, which was nice. This was also the first time that I got to have my adult dogs off of a leash almost the entire time, and they didn't run off, taken off after deer or squirrels, which I thought was pretty great. They did follow us to the restroom and back because you had to walk down the ways to the restroom. But yeah, they didn't take off, which was nice. Glasses of wine on the yeah, we should have brought glasses of wine on the foraging tour. That would have been kind of fun. Hey, Water Tiger. I'm just filling everyone in on what we did on the meetup, some of the little bloopers that happened, and different things we learned, different things we taught each other, some good laughs we had. We had some great laughs. It really did extend our family. We all really clicked very well. Just a group of very genuine, caring, just amazing, big hearts, big-hearted people that were together for this meetup. Nobody complained about anything, even like the rain or the instructor having to leave. Like, nobody complained about anything. We all weren't suspicious of each other. We just really bonded. It was really amazing to be able to just hit it off and become an immediate extended family. I thought it was just great. It was a wonderful group of people. Love and Life, we did not end up sparring. We had so much stuff to do that first day because we knew it was going to rain the next day that we pretty much worked from the moment we got up in the morning until the sun went down. 2 hours of that, I think, alone was collecting firewood, chopping firewood, because we knew the next day it was going to rain all day. We had to get it collected and put it under a tarp so that we had firewood for the next day. We didn't actually end up sparring, but like I said, I did almost take him out with a log. So That probably was as close as we got. It might have been cheating. I would have claimed it as a point unless it knocked him out, and then I would have felt really, really bad. It definitely wasn't on purpose. But we did not end up sparring. We were exhausted by the first night. At the end of the night, Irishman got scared. I don't know. He's like a foot taller than me, you guys. If it wouldn't have rained, Johnny, we probably would have definitely had some fun with that. Definitely. I could have seen us definitely having jabs at each other. We did some verbal jabs at each other, but that was just kind of how everybody was. So it was funny. Hey, Dan. I'm behind on some comments again. No, you know what, Wolfgang? We did not do a knot class. Not really. We had, well, I wasn't a part of it. I'm not going to say we didn't, because when they were doing the tarps and trying to do the tie downs, there was one person that was teaching a couple of other people how to make specific knots to get them tied down and cinched down. So I guess there kind of was, but it wasn't actually a class that was sit down and learn. It was something that we were learning as we were going along, or they were learning as they were going along. Let me see. Well, Johnny, next time you show, we can do a tag team. That sounds good. Yeah, Tracy, it was a great time. Hey, Sergeant Deacon. We did make a few phone calls from camp to reach out to some people to let them know we were thinking about them, which I think made their day. But we were just sitting around talking about, people we would like to meet and we're hoping to meet. And it just so happens that some of us had phone numbers of some of the people we were talking about. So we were able to reach out to them and let them know that we were thinking about them, which was, I think, really cool too, that everyone, felt the same way, to be able to reach out and show some love. Yeah, there were a lot of knives. There were a lot of knives, axes, hatchets. And actually, what's funny is it wasn't even all the knives that we had. Some of us had more that were not brought out. So we should have done that. I had my throwing knives. I didn't even think about that. We should have done the throwing knives. No worries, RP. I'm catching up again. Hey, Virginia. I was just talking about the trip and things we did and things we shared and experiences we had. And I shared the link, but I don't think that Irishman is home yet. But Virginia, if you want to come up and talk about it at all, you're more than welcome. I just put the link in there. Virginia is also at least a foot taller than me. You're welcome, love and life. Johnny, that's because you get calls all the time anyway. Tracy, I don't think I have your number. Please don't put it in chat. Stray kitten, you're so wrong. Devil dog, hello. I think my aim is pretty good. Oh, ready? There you go.
So. All right. Sorry. I was doing some stuff.
I think my aim is good.
No, absolutely not. You need a license for those freaking knives. How's everybody doing out there? I can't see the chat anymore. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's not moving yet. I was so far behind. I was trying to catch up. Johnny said he doesn't feel loved because we didn't call him.
Sorry, Johnny.
Oh, good
Wish
night.
you were a little bit closer.
East Tennessee's going to bed.
Awesome.
So did I miss anything? I was trying to remember everything that we did. We did a lot in 2 days, 2.5 days.
We really did. I mean, it's a little bit of an adventure getting to camp when I arrived, not at nighttime, because it's really in the sticks a little bit. During the daytime, it's not too bad. But yeah, the next day we knew the rain was coming in, so we were just getting ready for that. Between the moving from campsite to campsite, setting up, getting the wood, the tarp, and then after that, we were just doing some classes the next day and just hanging out and having fun. It was a really good time.
You know what I forgot to add too is the evening after the classes, we all got to take a corner and wrestle with the tarp that tried to fly away.
Well, like I said, it was a really big tarp, and I kind of knew that if we got a little bit of wind, it was, what was the bad part about it? Because where it was situated, because of the camp fire, we really couldn't, I couldn't put it up the way I wanted to. We were limited, if you catch my drift. I mean, so it was really rigged up, but it did the job. It held up with all that rain. It didn't do anything until we got the really bad winds that night.
Yeah, that wind came out of nowhere too. Those were some good gusts.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. It was a good time. Like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing what you do for the next one. But I'm going to do that from this side of the camera, I think, where I'm safe.
You think so?
I hope so.
I'll find a way. I'll pay it. I'll pay somebody to throw some sticks at you.
I've learned that anybody that can stick their hands in the fire and not even flinch, I don't mess with.
I didn't even tell anyone about that. Yeah.
It was amazing. Somebody accidentally dropped a flashlight into the fire and just grabbed it. Like, we're all like, how'd she do that?
Yeah.
So
it's mind over matter. Mind over matter.
Where's Steve? Is he in the chat?
He was, yeah.
I'm sure he has a few things to add to it.
Yeah, I was gonna I can't get my words out. Virginia, are you gonna come in? I put the link in there. Come join us up here. Virginia. Johnny said someone could have gotten the Wizard of Oz treatment holding on the tarp. Yeah, probably could have. Marco said, shockwave. See, now we're going to have all these inside jokes that nobody is even going to know about because they weren't at the meetup.
Nope, not at all. I mean, if I yell code red, people will be, like, what's he talking about? Code red, what's happening?
Right?
You had to be there. So.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And then some people are quiet like a ninja.
I have to. I'm just saying.
All right, Virginia, I didn't know you stepped away. Come up here. I'm putting the link again. Stray Kitten said Virginia had to put on his makeup first. So hopefully he'll come up. He just came back. I didn't know he stepped away for a minute.
He gave a pretty good class too on the 10 Cs, and we didn't really get to do the fire until like afterwards, but
Yeah.
And you gave a really awesome class on the tinctures.
You know what's funny? I didn't do the tinctures video yet, but I did the supplement video, the making your guys' own supplements. Have you tried those yet?
Putting it together? No.
No. Did you take any of the valerian? Here comes Virginia.
There he is. What's going on? Just gonna have to.
Hey.
Can you talk? Oh, there you go. What's
Nothing
up,
much.
Virginia?
You guys hear me okay?
Hey, okay.
Yep.
Can you hear me okay? Let me get close. Let me get rid of some stuff here. Okay, can you guys hear me okay now?
Yes.
You good?
Good. Okay. Yeah, you had to close some other things. Hey, good to see you, my mother Sparks,
Hey.
Irishman.
What's going
How
on?
you guys doing? Well, I am I don't know if I call it exhaustion or what, but I've been out there trying to weld an axe like someone else I know.
Let me tell you something. People don't realize how hard she was working us out there.
I know.
There wasn't a minute's worth of rest.
I know.
That's a lie.
No. I was telling someone that I kind of felt kind of shamed when we were in the woods and we were bringing wood out, and she
You
had
mean
two
branches?
pieces on her shoulder, and it's like, oh my goodness, I couldn't believe it, you know?
Yeah, she pulled her weight. She was good, for sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. That was and when she got that flashlight out of the fire, I was in the woods today, and I had a fire going, and I was trying to cook some stuff. I had to get a rag and a leather glove, and it's like, I don't know. It's no way. I don't see how she did it. I mean, even it was amazing, but I really enjoyed myself. That was really, really good. I mean, from Thursday night until I got there, until I left, it was just wonderful, but well, Bush still in my, but I don't know this, whatever I have on, but it was like I said, the one thing that I really learned about the sleeping gear. I've been online now just looking at sleeping gear, so I don't want to, the experience I had with that bivy sack. I mean, I tried to make it work. I mean, I was totally enclosed in that thing. It's like I don't feel any heat, my body's not generating any heat, so it works. It well. It worked well in my backyard. It worked well inside when I turned all the heat off. But when I got out there, it was like, okay, I got to go to the wool blankets now. But
you need to put a fire in front of that and reflect. Set it up in a manner just to kind of reflect some heat. You need a heat source out there when you're using that in certain temperatures for sure.
yeah.
You can't get down that cold.
Yeah,
I think I've gotten it down to about like 40 or 37 or something with those blankets, and you can feel it.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it, man. It was really, really good, really
Well, that's
good.
a good thing too about the meetups is people can bring whatever gear they need to test out for whatever weather we have, or the atmosphere wherever we are, and that was a good point is it worked where you were, even though it's the same state, it wasn't the same conditions,
Right.
So bringing your stuff to test it out and maybe even learn how to use it is a very important thing at these meetups and these camping get-togethers, because if you don't know something, maybe somebody else knows something that can help you, fix whatever the problem is.
That's right.
I have a question.
Sure.
How long did that pile of wood last for?
It lasted until we left. We actually had to burn it all. I mean, we could have had wood left over, but no, we used it all. But we more or less like forced to use it. But I guess since we put so much energy into it, it's like you can't let that wood go to waste.
I know we were arguing about that. Like, it's not enough. No, it's enough. Just conserve it.
Yeah. Because I was looking at it and it's like, okay, that's enough wood for one night, but it lasts until we left,
Well, you got to remember, you were in your tent, so you weren't up all night feeding it either,
And you know what? I slept so comfortable in the tent, and it was such a pleasure when it started to rain. I mean, I heard the rain. It was so nice. But the one thing that really surprised me, I didn't hear you when you left. Irishman.
Oh, no?
Did you leave by helicopter? Did you drive through in the front?
The next time we meet, I'll show you how I did it. It's pretty impressive.
Really? I didn't hear.
No,
I did
We
not
didn't
even.
hear you pack anything up. Nothing.
I was up early, and you know, I figured, you know, let me break down. I was trying to be quiet, but I mean, I wasn't sneaking around or anything like that. I just didn't want to wake anybody up, and I was just like, I got a long trip ahead of me, so let me just, you know, let me take off, and I'll give a phone call later. And it took me a little bit because of traffic in New York. I was stopping here and there, taking my time, but once you enter New York, I mean, the traffic is. No matter how you enter, it's always congested. So, but it was good. You know, like I said, I had a good time. I wish I could have stayed a little bit longer. An extra day would have been really nice. I heard you
Yeah,
guys were, after I left, you took it easy. You know,
yeah,
drinking wine and going to nice foraging classes. You know,
yeah.
all
The
that good
14
stuff.
class. Yeah, it was really good. As a matter of fact, I'm sitting looking at something on my counters, like I'm just trying to wait till December 23rd. You know, it's like I need to hide it from. I keep looking at it every day. You know, but yeah, that was the foraging class. Even when I was out today, I mean, just from going on that tour, I started noticing things like I saw these berries. It's like I wonder if they're edible. I saw some berries, and I saw they had to be pine needles. But at least that foraging class is making me aware now every time that I go out. So plus, you know, I have some reading material. My mother Sparks gave me this book, Herbal Remedies. So it's making me like want to, you know, I mean, I guess when someone actually push you to the line and something you've always been wanting to do, it just makes me now like today. It's like I'd never noticed those berries before. You know, I kept saying, "Huh, I wonder." I'm sure bears like these berries. So am I in bear territory? but,
So
but
one thing we did learn, speaking of berries, though, is we actually learned what makes gin vodka,
oh yes,
which we were shocked.
yes,
Apparently, gin or vodka is just gin with juniper berries.
yeah,
That's what gives vodka its flavor, or vice versa. But I think it was gin and a vodka. But it was pretty neat. And there was juniper berries there on the foraging tour. So
mhm,
once you took some off and kind of squished them and smelled them, you could smell the gin because that's the flavor in gin from the vodka.
yeah,
It was pretty cool.
yeah.
And
I mean,
then also, Irishman, you were wondering which type of trees those were. They're called
Yeah.
longleaf pines, and
Ah,
and they used to be the most I don't want to say popular, like the those used to be the
common.
primary pine in Virginia, and now they're dwindling. There's hardly any. Most of them are on that property now because he keeps planting more.
mhm,
Yeah, you know what? When I go out, I'm the same as you, Virginia. I don't know every single plant out there. I had a friend who's really into it, and he's really good at it. So I started picking up a few things from him. So I do the same thing you do now. When I go out there, I look at plants that are common, and I kind of learn how to identify it. But those pines that you were talking about, I've
mhm.
never seen them before. I've
I know.
seen white pine, red pine, but those were really like, you know, really they stand out. I mean, they were
Hmm.
obvious if you're just
Yeah,
walking by. So that's kind of cool.
And they were
yeah.
soft. Did you get to feel them at all?
No, I was working.
They were they were soft. I, I don't know
We
what
were
you were
all
doing, but
working.
okay.
It's a jam. No, I'm only
Yeah,
kidding. He didn't work us that hard. But no, no,
yeah,
you know what? I was looking at him, but no, I didn't get a chance to touch him.
They were pretty cool. They were almost just like hair. I mean, it really was just like hair when you felt them. They felt like just thick hair. It was pretty neat, actually.
Did
Um,
you
yeah.
ask him? Did you ask him what are some of the uses for that tree? Like, what can you like medicinally or?
no.
Okay, I was just curious. I know like white pine, you can turn into like a tea that's vitamin C, like you know, or enriched. You process it.
I
So I
wonder
was
if
just
you can
curious.
use any of the pines. I'll have to look.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I know with the white pine, there's a way of processing it where you can, you know, if you're sick and you're out in the bush, you can kind of turn it into a tea and
Yeah.
you know get the benefits of the vitamin C. So
I know on the forging
You know.
tour, Virginia felt like Christmas once we got to the birch trees.
Oh my goodness. Yes, I got a lot of birch. And you know what? I was going to bring some back with me, but I had to burn it. Oh my god! I mean, there were just so many birch. You could just, I guarantee you, the those bags that we have, the
Mhm.
tick bag, you could have filled it up with birch easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
So that road, the first campsite we were at,
Mhm.
that road, if you went down towards the entrance and looked to the left, that's where all those trees were, the birchwood, and they were all shedding, every one of them.
Yeah.
Was
So
it paper birch?
Paper. Yeah.
Oh,
Paper
okay.
birch. Yeah.
So he
We
came
have
back.
them up here, but they're not common.
Yeah, he came back with a handful. We had to wait on him. He was like, "Oh, look at this one.
I
Oh,
know.
look at that one."
Get,
The guy's
and
like, "Take as much as you want. It's
Yeah.
fine." So he did.
and I was gonna try to bring some back, but it's just like I had to use it. I had to use it.
You
But
should have kept a little on the side there for yourself.
I don't know, man. It's like I was just so elated to see that. I've never seen that much birch. Never. I could have filled up a backpack with that. Yeah.
It was.
And a couple of places I go to, I carry like Ziploc bags, so I can just, if I see stuff, I can just, put it away for a rainy day, like that the cedar I brought.
Oh yeah. That was And one thing else, something else I liked was the sorrel. We actually tasted the sorrel. It was wonderful.
Mhm.
We tasted quite a few plants, and they were good. Just as he described, they taste just like that.
Yeah,
So-
he's very intelligent. That man is definitely a walking herb book for sure.
Yes.
Encyclopedia. He's so smart.
And then
amazing.
the last day before we left, he brought a lot of pine cones. I think he said like 100 pine cones or something like that. He was going to plant them.
Mhm. He was going to
Yeah.
harvest the seeds so
Oh,
that he
yeah,
could the white-haired pine. He was harvesting the seeds from them so that he could plant them and keep them flourishing.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
we
it
Too bad
we
you
learned,
guys. It's too bad that you didn't take a few home and plant them in the yard.
Oh, me plant something in my yard. Do you know the level of permission I would have to get?
It just started growing. I don't know what to tell you. That's what you
Mhm.
tell them. It's just
But I think now I
It's
think
nature.
I'll get some pots and put them on my balcony, and because I saw another neighbor, that's what she's doing. So think about doing that. I could do something, Yeah, if it's time
once
to
they get to a certain size, you can replant them somewhere else.
yeah, harvest the pine cones.
Yeah.
And then the
But,
holly, he had holly trees there too. We learned that in holly trees that only the females grow berries,
Hmm.
which I didn't know that
Yeah.
either.
I saw a couple when we were out, collecting wood. I saw a couple of them out there in the back in the back of the camp area. So
Right on.
yeah, that was one thing I really had to do. It's like, rainwater. I had to, I've done it before, but it's just to, rainwater just tastes totally different. You don't taste any fluoride or anything like that. I've done it before, but it's just like, if I had to, I would feel comfortable anywhere doing that. Next time I'd probably boil it a little longer or something like that, but filter it a little bit more. But I was fine.
I would have liked to seen how much we could have collected. It was too bad
Yeah.
we didn't have a spare, like 5-gallon bucket or two,
Right.
just to see how much over a course of because that was a pretty big talk. That was about
It was.
15 by 19. So, when we were putting that up, I was saying that I was like, we gotta make sure this thing doesn't collect water. And,
Yeah.
it was coming off, it was doing its job. But it would have been cool to put like that big bucket there and see how much we could have collected.
Oh, I think we could have easily gotten 5 gallons easily.
Oh yeah. I agree.
5 gallons more. Yeah.
I mean, it was coming down pretty hard, and it was a pretty big surface that we were collecting from. So
Yeah.
I think you guys were, maybe between 5 to 10.
At least,
Yeah. And it wasn't even just that one side that was dumping. It was like every edge was dumping buckets.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. At least 5 gallons, 10 gallons at least of an all day rain and it dumping like that. Definitely.
I
And
think
that
if the next time you do that event, if we're back in the same spot, we got to think it through a little bit and rearrange that top again and kind of. I think we could do better. I think we did good, but I think we could do better. It's just it was just so complicated with that road. We needed to leave some access for cars to come in and out. So it was kind of it was a hindrance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, next time maybe we could even go in between the trees, like where you were set up, Jim.
Yeah, we could.
And just do across those trees right there. That'd be a good area right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But
that would work.
Yeah, I really look at this trip as like this was really a bushcrafting trip. I think it really was. I mean, we harvest wood and had rainwater, foraging. Yeah, it was very. I mean, it was just and the thing is, Santiago started his first fire.
Yeah, he did good.
Yep.
Yeah.
He turned into a little pyromaniac after that. He's trying to burn down everything.
I know,
which is good.
Funny. Yeah, that was funny. Every time I turned around, I'm like, "Why is there a roll of toilet paper in the fire?"
Oh, what? Oh, I saw that. Yeah, that was like, and then he had the 3 Micwics up there. It's like as if there was decoration.
Yeah.
I blame you, Steve. You're the bad influence. You're the fire guy.
But he wanted that instant fire, But
yeah. Well, he got the bug. That was good. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he'll start playing with it more.
Yeah.
Next year you might be out of a job.
You know what? The more the merrier. The more the merrier. Yeah. But
no, that's always good. When you see somebody else do it, it's like you get that feeling like, all right, I did good.
Yeah.
You passed the torch.
But I think next year, hopefully, I'll know more about the plants. When it's time to do the foraging. I just think it'd probably be better to do the foraging before the wine tasting.
Marco said we should have brought a glass with us and just drank the wine on the foraging tour.
Camelback. With the straw in the back.
Oh yeah,
that would work too.
But I really like that. Yeah, I really like the store. I mean, that is a very trusting store. So that tells me a lot about the character of the owner and so forth. Very, very trusting. So I really enjoyed it. And then I found out when I was in the store, they had so much gear. They had fishing gear, stuff that I didn't see the first time, So if you wanted to fish and you didn't bring your fishing equipment, you could get a rod and reel there. I mean, she had bait, catfish bait, lures, and everything.
I think you know what would have been fun if we could have did some fishing, but not traditional fishing, like set up some. The words are escaping me. Some trick, some.
Where you go back and check them.
I'm drawing a blank on the name, but we should be doing something like that maybe next time. Be kind of cool to see if we could catch some stuff. Set up a few snares, traps, whatever you want to call them, and just let them, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
What we could have done too is use the corks from the wine bottles as bobbers and throw them out there.
Right. That's right.
Because we have the cork.
And even if we didn't have the fishing equipment, we could use some bank line and a limb. Yeah.
And we were drinking some alcohol, so I'm sure a couple of those tops we could have turned into hooks.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But I had some hooks in my gear. I had some hooks.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's more fun to drink a whole bunch of beers and then try to put up fishing traps out there.
Yeah, and like say make your own hooks out of the tops. Yeah, make your own hooks. Yeah.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
got
Yeah,
some
that would have
Leatherman.
been neat to try that too.
Yeah.
And there's definitely fish in that water because they were
Yeah.
surely jumping.
Yeah. I remember when the first day I got there, I saw some jumping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
You said
they were good size.
Yeah.
you said there was also beaver over there too, right? And turtles.
Yeah. Yep. There were. I saw one of the beavers go by the shoreline the first night, but the
Mhm.
owner said that they also had otters migrate over there.
Oh wow.
So they had beaver and otters, and then they had the peacock,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
Virginia got to see finally. I was like,
Yeah.
"Where's the peacock?"
Yeah.
But he got to see it, and the ducks and the geese, and then the dog.
Next year too, we can make the gigs, the 4-pointed with the sticks, and then at dusk or nighttime with flashlights, we can see if we can catch a couple frogs.
Oh yeah. 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 That would be great. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's so much you can do there, you know? So much that you can do.
And these
Yeah.
are, some of these ideas we didn't even think about until now.
I
I
know.
remember when you had the live where you was, all right, guys, what do you got for me? What do you guys want to do and stuff like that. Think about all the stuff now since we
Yeah.
went there and kind of we could have done this, we could have done this,
Yeah.
that.
And you know
So-
what? I saw turkeys when I left. There were
Yeah.
some turkeys there. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got those running around the property too.
Yep. I
I
mean, I've
think
never.
I think when we were there, Jim, we had all this stuff that we were going to do, but I think once we got to site, we saw so much we had to do,
Mhm.
so it took priority. But
It wasn't a bad time. Like I said, it was good. I really liked working as a team and kind of like this is what we got to do. Let's get it done, and we had a good time too. I mean, during and afterwards too.
Yeah.
Some of the
Yeah.
classes was good. It would have been nice to get you guys on the air though a little bit. That's the one thing I regret. It would have been funny to watch you guys go on the radio and get all nervous and
yeah,
See ya.
I was thinking about that today. I was like, man, I should have asked him if we can reach somebody. That would have been fun.
Well,
Yeah.
Steve asked about the bow fang radios. Can we talk to somebody, or can you talk to somebody? And when I told him no, he was like, "What are you talking about? No, you're the radio guy." Once I explained why, because you have to program the radios for the area that
Yeah.
you're in.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have looked it up. I didn't have my laptop with me, but it can be done. It's just a little bit of work. You got to put a little prep work into it. But the other radio, you don't need to do that. You know what I mean? You can just put it up. The only thing was radios and rain. You got to really protect them. I think I got a little bit of stuff in one of my my balance, which isn't a big deal, but just for whatever reason, I didn't like the way it was sounding.
Mm.
So
Hey, did you guys talk about the bow drill?
I did. I said it was.
Yep.
I did a little bit. I said it was
Yeah,
really
yeah.
cool, and I recommend anybody try it.
Yeah. I mean, that like blew my mind. It's like, how many seconds did it take her? But less than 5 minutes?
yeah, you
And I'm-
bought the kit, right? That was a kit that you bought.
Yeah.
But I've seen people take 2 hours, 3 hours, and where they actually had to go take a break, and that's my mental issue with the bow drill. It's like, man, it's going to take forever. If I try to make a video doing a bow drill, it's going to take forever. But yeah,
There was a guy that was teaching us a good bit ago. He could make everything and have a fire going within 15 to 20 minutes. From a log
Mhm.
all the way down to making all the parts of it, and it was phenomenal how efficient this guy was.
Wow.
I
So
would
it was
love to do that next.
really. Say again.
I said I would love to do that next. Make it from scratch and build it, make a fire.
It's gonna take a while, but
That's the challenge.
all right.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm just saying like people don't realize like when you actually start doing it, it's a lot of work. There's a lot to it. You know what I mean? But it can be done. I would say If you're starting from scratch, you have no clue what you're doing. Probably an hour or two. Probably like an hour just to make it for the first time if you don't know what you're doing.
I'm assuming you take all the bark and everything off.
Well, you cut it into you cut your parts off. So you leave the bark on, but when you cut like certain parts, you're not going to have the bark, or it won't interfere on it. Mm-hmm. It's not that hard to make. It's just a little time consuming because you want to get the whole thing with fire. And Steve will tell you, if it's not the ferro rod making the spark, that's like probably the least, like that's the easiest part.
Easiest, yeah.
It's the setup to getting the fire. Like when you helped out Santiago and you kind of put everything there, you gave him like the recipe for success. So he got that up, I think, in what, 3 strikes?
Yeah. But that's you're right about that, Jim. Because I was out today and it was like, I mean, I was just experimenting with this axe that I really love. But then, you know, you forget to show the things that, like I had to take how you put the axe in the head into the wood and you have to turn it on your back and drop it down. I had to do that a couple of times and it still didn't split. But, you know, it's everything's a learning process. And that's to me, that's the fun part. It's everything's a learning process, you know. But yeah, you're right, Jim. The preparation of the fire, you know, from the tinder to the kindling and the fuel and then keeping the fire going. But the thing is, our wood was wet the whole time, you know. Mm-hmm. I mean, so we were at a disadvantage. Every piece of wood we had was wet. Even when we had it up under the tarp, you know, it takes wood a long time to dry out, you know.
Well, it was already wet before when we were getting it. Mm-hmm. I mean, there wasn't too many standing down trees there. You know what I mean? So we were grabbing whatever we could. So, you know, it's the only thing I would have said we could have done was we should have got the fire going and then put more pieces around the fire to dry it out a little bit. But I think we did fine.
Yeah, we did. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, that's what you call survival. If you're out there and you're faced with all this wet wood, I mean, you don't have time days to let it dry out. You know, you have to think of something of putting around the fire, splitting it, going to the middle. And then a lot of it was it wasn't hardwood, but I mean, it was when you look at
there's a few pieces.
Yeah, that was. I mean, that's what you would be faced with, like in a survival mode. You know, I mean, possibly.
I can honestly say, because when we were there Friday, when it started, that was the day that everything was supposed to pop off around the United States. You know.
Oh, yeah.
And I can honestly say that if stuff would have popped off and we would have been stuck at that campsite longer than 3 days, with the group we had there, I think we would have been able to sit tight for a while.
Exactly.
Between the skills that we all had and how well we got along and how well we worked together, I think we could have, if we had to, stay put there for a little while if things did pop off.
I agree.
I know. I think Christy would have been scheming and she would have taken us out one by one.
Only you, Jim. Only you.
I know, an errand log toss here, you know.
No, I think we would have been fine.
We would have been fine. I mean, there's plenty of resources out there, so we could have made do for a little bit.
Definitely. So what do you guys think one of the funniest things that happened there?
Funniest?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I like the nicknames that we all gave each other.
Yeah.
That was kind of fun.
Yeah.
I like the camaraderie. I mean, funniest though. I don't know.
I think for me, it was me being startled when I thought a bear was coming around the tent.
Yeah, you definitely moved. I noticed. I'm like, I was like, if it's gonna get me, it's gonna get me. So I was just like, all right, I'm better off not seeing it. But yeah, you definitely reacted.
Yeah, that was the funniest thing there. I mean, he came out of the tent so so fast, and then the way he looked in it, and then to find out, oh, it's just spiders. But yeah,
Yeah, he scared me.
yeah.
I was about to run the opposite direction from a bear.
but those are like moments.
And poor Jim would have been like, there's your bait. Get it.
Yeah.
Gone.
No, I'm good because I'm not running. It's going to go right after you.
Oh yeah. See,
I've been yelling. He's going to slow up. He's going to tire out, Christy. Keep on fighting.
But
I
see,
would have went in my tank.
and see, you know what? What does it say? For example, if it really was a bear, we probably would have did exactly what we just said. I don't think I would have laughed. So, but I think we probably would. Because you hear all the time, if a bear comes, I'll do this. I'll do this. You never know. So that's like close to an example. What would you do if it really was a bear? Like Christy said, she looked, and I was just stunned. I was trying to figure out who else is in the tent.
Mm-hmm. So Stray Kittens, if you add everyone that came and left or came late or left early, there was a total of 7 of us.
It was a good time.
She asked how many people were there.
Yeah. It was definitely a good time. I mean, if you guys have an opportunity to do this next year or whenever the next one is, do it. It was really fun. And like I said, we did a lot of, on these channels, a lot of times you talk a lot of stuff, but we actually did stuff. So it was good. It was really good. So
very, very productive. Very productive.
Definitely a working camp, but not a slave driving camp.
Mm.
Oh, shut up.
No.
See, now this is what happens when people get stuck by fire. Do you see that? See that hole in my finger? This is what happens when people stick their hands in fire or something. Normally,
it's not healed yet. It's
no,
not healed yet. I thought
no.
That was from the
paracord.
From the knot class.
Of gloves.
Yeah. But you had 2 incidents, Irishman. The one,
you set me up for the other one. Both you guys were working together.
No, one with the bank line, I think. No,
yep.
And then when you were making the char cloth.
Yeah, you handed it to me, and I grabbed it. I was like, ah.
But you know what? When I touched it, it wasn't hot at all. Now, did I have on gloves when I did that?
No. The only thing, you might have a higher tolerance, or you might have grabbed it maybe on the sides, and I grabbed it like from the bottom. I don't know, but I definitely felt it. I was like, it didn't burn me. That didn't burn me, but I felt it. So I was lucky there. It's just the other one stuck on me. It took me like a couple of seconds to get it off me. So it went down a little bit.
Instead.
Say again?
How come you didn't use the lighter to get it off instead of try to drop the lighter to get it off?
I wish you would have said something, while I was going through it.
Yeah. And then I wasn't sure if we were going to need a medic in there with Virginia tripping over that stupid stump every time we walked by it.
You know what?
And Steve, maybe you could back me up on this. In my defense too, what's the most important thing if you're out there in the bush? The means to make a
fire.
Yeah. So a lighter is.
Yeah.
So that's why my instincts kicked in. I didn't want to drop a lighter because I might have needed that. So.
But yeah.
The same.
Yeah, but you know what?
You didn't have to drop it. You should have just used it.
Stop making fun of me.
But you know what? That stump that was there. I must have almost I must have tripped over that thing at least 10, 15 times. But you know,
you were tripping over quite a few things there, Steve. And you weren't even drinking at that point.
I was gonna say that was before wine.
I forgot about the table that I backed into.
I cringed when he did that. I was just like, oh man, please don't let him screw up his car. You have such a nice car. I was the one telling you, could you move it so I could fit in over here? And like I'm the cause of it. So I was just like, oh, and you were good. You took it in stride.
Yeah,
Like
because
I would have been like, oh, my car.
I didn't know you backed into the table.
it was was it a bump? Basically,
A
it
tap.
was, yeah. It wasn't, you know, but yeah, maneuverability skills are just not that great. I need to be on the highway just straight.
Well,
But
there were a ton of obstacles too, though.
yeah, but I think
Yeah,
but
it was-
first I saw the paracord around it, and it said trip line security, but it was to keep our dogs there. I was like, you know what? That's a good idea. If someone to come in at night, we're going to hear them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the first campsite, because we had, it was a ropes course. It was basically a ropes course. Over
So let me
this
ask you a
one, under
question.
this one.
When I left that morning, what were the dogs doing?
Sleeping.
Jim, I can't believe. You know what? I mean, your car. Okay, if you backed out, you had to go past my tent. Which means you had to open the door. You had to close the door.
I'm surprised you
That's
didn't wake
usually how
up
you get in a
earlier because I
car.
was doing it all the time.
I didn't hear it.
I was trying to be quiet. I didn't want to wake anybody, but I was, I opened and closed the door quite a few times.
Did
I
have
wasn't slamming it, but I was just,
Did you have moccasins on or what?
No,
And
it's
then
the
we were
ninja
looking
skills.
we were looking for the tire tracks. It's like, wait a minute. So he did
We
back
did
out.
too.
I tied a branch onto the back of my bumper behind the wheel so you wouldn't see anything.
Yeah, we were looking at this. It's like, yeah, he did back up. Because
Yeah.
first I said maybe he went straight out. But I don't know.
We learned tracking skills after you left.
Yeah.
You didn't find me.
We were like, he went this way, and then he went this way.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is what I did. I took down my teepee tent,
Okay.
loaded that in the car. Then I took down the tarp that was on the back of my truck,
Okay.
put that in. I loaded everything in. When I backed out towards your trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of went, I kind of made a U-turn and went out where the rest of the cars were, straight down. And that was pretty narrow over there. I didn't realize how narrow it was.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we learned that ourselves when we left. It was.
so
Yeah.
that's
we
exactly what I
probably
did.
needed to go the other way.
Yeah. And then ex NYC, he was there. He came there.
Yeah, I was talking to him on the way down.
Yeah.
I know it's sad that he kind of got a late start because it would have been. I'd met him once before, but it would have been nice to meet up with him. But he's been on the YouTube. He's doing a whole tour.
Yeah. The last thing I saw, he was getting ready to prepare a meal with some alligator meat. Did you guys see that?
Alligator meat.
I saw the upcoming video, but I don't think I watched that one. I'm not sure. I watched a couple of them.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet, but I saw him. He was going to have some alligator meat, I think, with some rice. But and this is what surprises me. Did you see how much stuff he has? He has a television. He has a stove with an oven. It's like, how did he get all of that in his vehicle?
Oh, maybe he should give a class on that next year.
Well, we know about modern bushcrafting. Would he be a modern prepper?
You know what? That was the funniest thing when you told that story. That was great.
Modern bushcrafter,
And you got so offended by that. And I was just laughing. Like it had nothing to do with you, but like, what the hell is this guy saying?
Yeah, because that's what another guy told me once. It's like modern bushcraft. It's like, what? I'm thinking as bushcraft and trying to be as primitive as you can, So, that's what I like. When I went out today, I mean, I have lighters all the time, but it's like, I can't pull this lighter out. There's no way. Because you'll see where I was using a walking stick to make the fire. It didn't work. And here again, in preparation, but my main focus was to use this axe. But I was going to make this fire. So I had to resort to getting my large ferrocerium rod. And then I actually had to go get some cotton balls and Vaseline. That's it. Because the main thing wasn't making the fire. is actually using the axe, you know. But
I was
but
thinking next year I might have to get some T-shirts made up, like something like "I'm with Modern Bushcrafter" or something like that. I don't know, something like that.
That'd be hilarious.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then also when you pick the song for the timer, you're like, of course I'm gonna pick the 5-minute long song.
Oh yeah. When Santiago was starting the fire, I tried to put him under a little stress. Mission Impossible, and
Oh,
this couple of versions of it. I wanted the short version, and of course
yeah,
I gave him like the 20-minute one where it's like he got it. I mean, he got it pretty much right away anyway. He would have
yeah,
gotten it, but it was. I
yeah.
like putting people under the stress. You know, having some fun.
And
I
then,
think we had some good fun. You know,
yeah. And did you see his flashlight? I mean, you could.
after.
No, the one that
Santiago's
he
flash-
could call aliens down.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. The big one, the strong one. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And NYC ex NYC, he had one, but his I believe was silver, and then Santiago's was black. But
Okay.
yeah. So it's like, but those things are heavy, man. I'm sure they have a lot of batteries. At least what 3-4D batteries.
Probably, yeah.
No.
Or they might be rechargeable. I mean, with
I think
with
so.
battery technology now.
Yeah, I think so. I think he did. I think he did mention something about it was rechargeable. Modern bushcraft.
So
There you
XNYC Jim, he actually showed up that night at 4:00 in the morning,
Oh yeah.
but he didn't let us know. So he slept at the store and didn't call us till 8:00 in the morning.
You could, you know, like I don't blame him for that. I mean,
I was like, you could have called. You should have called. Like, yeah, I told him he should have just called. I had my phone. I left my phone on because I knew he was going to show up sometime in the middle of the night. So
I can imagine
left
that
it
phone
on.
call. You're in your trailer with your husband, and all of a sudden you get a call 4:00 in the morning, and who's that? Oh, it's Jake from State Farm.
That would have been great.
Yeah. Yeah.
And let me tell you something. Your husband's an awesome guy. I'm really glad that I got to meet him and hung out with him a little bit.
Yeah.
Very fun to be with.
Very knowledgeable. Very
He
knowledgeable.
is.
Yes.
Yes.
I wish he
Very
would share that knowledge with the community a little more, but he's camera shy.
I don't blame him. I used to be like that. Now I'm kind of, you know, obviously I'm out here, so you know.
Plus,
At a
it would
certain
take him
point.
too long to fix his hair.
What's that?
It would take him too long to fix his hair anyway.
But no, very good guy. And you know what? Verno, I met him for like a little bit. He was great too.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was great. Like I said, I wish he could have stayed longer because it would have been really nice to really, you know, after a day or two, you get to know people a little bit better. And it would have been nice to, you know, pick his brain on things and just BS a little bit.
Well, if you
So-
make the South Carolina one, he's going to be there. If you make it down to that one.
I'll try. I
When-
can't
when
guarantee
you make
anything.
it down to that one.
Oh, I'm
Say again?
I said, when you make it down to that one.
Okay, I'll try. You know my situation. It's can be a little tough. Plus, I do make plans and stuff, so I got to see how it works out. But that Virginia one next year, I told you I already took off that week. So you know, you do what you got to do. But if you take off that week, it would be great. I could take my time, go down there with less than, you know, probably sleep like maybe 2.5 hours, 3 hours. You know, that'd be nice.
Text me those dates because in about a month now we'll be putting our leave in.
Okay.
So
well, basically, it's the same week.
Mm-hmm.
That the whole week. But I'll text them to you.
Yep.
But you know, you got to do what you got to do anyway. You know, don't do it for me. But if it works out, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and then Virginia, text me the dates that are not good for you for the spring one, so that I remember.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what else, Jim? XNYC ordered a cake for me from some awesome Italian bakery, I guess. And he showed up after they closed, so he couldn't pick it up. I was like,
Yeah.
That's great.
you know, somehow I believe you on that.
How do I know about that? He might have said something to me. I don't know. I think I heard that. Either I heard it from you or somewhere, but that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
So
It's
yeah, he
pretty
seems
fun.
like he's a good guy.
Oh, he is. He has a big
Yeah.
heart. He really is. He's another very genuine guy.
Hey, did you spar?
We did not, actually. We did
He's
not.
a martial art guy.
He did a lot of videos, and he was very chatty. I think he enjoyed having adult conversation after being on the road for so long.
Yeah.
He was
It's a
very
New York thing.
And he has a very, very active dog, Hunter.
Yes.
The little beagle. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Very
Who
active.
fell in love with Julep. Him and
Yeah.
Julep were inseparable.
Oh, that's cool. That's nice. I
Mhm.
didn't even think about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
They wore each other out. They played like crazy. And then every time Hunter would wander off too far, Dizzy and Rock would kind of look at him and look at us like, hello, he's leaving. They were like little tattletales. I was like, yeah, my girls are telling you might want to call your boy. It was pretty funny. They kept telling on him.
So how
Yeah.
late did you guys stay Sunday?
We ended up leaving. Marco and I ended up leaving at 7:30 at night.
Yeah.
We didn't get home till 4:30 the next morning because we had to leave the campsite we were at and then go to the other campsite and pack up animals.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't get home till around the time I was talking to you.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I did stop a lot. I was a little bit tired, so I did like kind of stop here, stop there. But I mean, it wasn't excessive. But once you cross over those bridges, it's like everything stops. I mean, it's ridiculous. And I kind of knew it too. I was thinking about staying later, and then I was just like, let me get home because I got to go to work the next day. And I was even thinking about staying till Monday, and I was just like, it would be cutting it way too short.
Yeah.
So, but it would have been good. It would have been fun. For
I
sure.
think I had the easiest drive, 128 miles.
Well, you
But-
still put in about what, 2 hours, 2.5?
Yeah, yeah. But coming back at least 3 because it's like, what's the rush, you know? So when I got in, I text the Quiet Ninja.
Nice.
Oh my goodness, the modern bushcraft. I'm reading gems. It's like, oh.
I see. I'm not even on the chat, so I can't even see it. I gotta go to the
I just
chat.
changed Virginia's name to the Modern Bushcrafter.
That's awesome. We definitely got to get him a shirt or something.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Old Mutt said that we're a fun group.
No, it was fun. Like I said, I wish everybody could have came.
Yeah.
And Old Mutt's a cool guy too. I met him a couple of times.
Yes.
Very knowledgeable about things. You know what? I don't know. Did you get a chance to check out his trailer?
Oh,
Yes.
I did.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And actually, that coat that I was wearing at camp when the rainy day was from Old Mutt. That was a gift from him. Thank God I had that because it was pouring. Yeah.
It was coming down pretty hard, for sure.
Yep. Very appreciative of that.
Well, you had a tough time. You had a tough time up in Mike's too, right?
Yeah.
Well, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where he gave me the coat at. I layered up, and Jody gave me some gloves, and Mike kept the fire high for me. So, yeah, I struggled up there with the cold. Definitely, I'm not built for cold anymore. Even though I grew up in cold, I'm not built for cold anymore. Not at
Well,
all.
you do adjust to the climate wherever you're in. But
Yeah.
did you pack right for that trip or no?
I did. I had a bunch of clothes.
Okay.
I had a bunch of clothes. And I actually overheated at one point. I had to take the coat off, but yeah, I brought a bunch of clothes and had layers on. I had quite a few layers on in the evening. I had a beanie
Okay.
too, but I didn't end up needing it. I just had my hoodie and I was good. But,
I was across from you when you were at that thing. You were doing a live with Mike. Mike, Ed was there, Old Mutt was there, and a couple other people. That was a fun place too. And let me tell you something. When you talk about food, I forget who was doing the food up there, the barbecue,
mm-hmm.
but that was really good.
It was good.
Like,
His peppers
killed
were
it.
good too. I opened his jar of peppers. I'm like, nobody's opened these. Can I open these? And he's like, yeah, sure. I did them myself. And man, they were really good. They were really, really good. Yeah, that's an awesome meetup. I want to get back up there. That was a fun group of guys too.
Well, if you go back up there, from what Mike's saying, the new site you're going to have to hike in.
Yeah, that's what I saw. I saw him on one of his lives, and he said, yes, no more driving to a certain distance. He said the only vehicle would be a paramedic vehicle.
Yeah. But I guess there's no room up there.
Yeah, I saw that live when Hudson had that meetup, and I really didn't know anyone. But when people were speaking, you could just see the not fog, but the breath just coming out. It was so cold.
I didn't think it was that bad. It was what, like, was it 20? Did it get down to 27?
It had to
At
be.
ours?
Yeah, at Mike's.
Oh, Mike's. I know it got down to at least 32.
Yeah,
because I know at one point I looked at it did get to 32.
But it looked like it was much colder than 32. I mean,
I thought it got down to about 27 or so. I mean, it was cold, but it wasn't like crazy cold. You know what I mean? It was, if you have the right sleeping bag and stuff, it was doable. I was up on the hill, like with my little raised bed thing. I think that was it wasn't the first time, but it was one of the first times I think I was using it. I slept pretty good on it. So
you didn't have to pull out 2 extra wool blankets.
No, I have a really good sleeping bag. You know what? I paid the money, but I'm really happy with my sleeping bag. It's rated for 0. It's really light. So Steve sorted it. It's next to nothing.
Very compact. Very compact. Once you put it in the bag, very compact. But what? I'm surprised. When I've been looking at them, I'm surprised of the prices. I was looking at some that were like for 0 degrees, because when I get one, it has to be at least 0. I don't want no 30, 40. I want 0.
I'm just telling you one thing right now. Don't be close to the fire with that thing, man. It's too expensive to have little holes in it and stuff.
Yeah, that would be for like specifically for meetups, because
for your tent.
Yeah, exactly. Because otherwise, when I'm out there, I was telling someone today, it's like, I'm not sure who I was telling, but it's like when it gets cold, it's like I'm 3 feet away from the fire, so I never know it. I mean, walk away from the fire, it's cold, but for meetups, I've been looking at those things like, oh my goodness, I can't believe the prices,
Well, if you're doing like car camping, which a lot of the meetups are, you could buy something 0 degrees and it doesn't have to be that expensive. There's some good quality sleeping bags out there that are good, but the thing is they're usually heavy and bulky. Like you can pick up I forget what the military sleep systems are going for now, but they're more than adequate. But the only thing I don't like about them is the weight and the size of them. But if you're going car camping, I keep one in my car as just in case. And there's like 3 bags. There's the winter bag, the summer bag, and then a Gore-Tex bivy on it. So you can use that. You don't need a shelter or anything. I mean, it's nice to have a tarp, but as far as if I was doing some major hiking, I wouldn't want to. It's not about 9 pounds.
Yeah.
I know some people are going to start yelling at me at the chat if I look, but sorry, I'm just giving my opinion. I don't mean to offend anybody.
Right, Kitten. Another thing you can do also is they have camping quilts. I actually had one on this trip. It's a camping quilt, and that quilt alone was 8 pounds. So if you don't want to just get a bulky sleeping bag, you want to get a normal sleeping bag where you can layer up if it's hot or cold. Get yourself a camping quilt, and just, if it's the weight, throw it over you on the sleeping bag.
Yeah, what you could do is you can get a regular sleeping bag, throw a wool blanket over. A wool blanket's always good to have. They're pretty good if you're next to a fire. They won't, like a sleeping bag will, you'll get holes from the embers. The wool blanket will do good. But check out a top quilt. They're a little bit pricey, but they're really, really good. They're lightweight. with a compression bag and get them down next to nothing. And you can get them made to whatever you need. You can buy ones that are standard ones, and there's sites where you can get them custom built and get them down as as low as you want.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know, I've seen them for like -30 or something like that, the custom ones.
Wow,
So
-30. Wow.
Old Matt said that if he goes to Mike's again, he's thinking about bringing his Polaris side by side. He's getting too old to backpack in. And that's actually one of my concerns now with his new location is some of the people that came to his meetup. Some of the people that came to his meetup may not be able to backpack in. So that worries me that those people are going to miss out because it is a good time.
You know what? I heard Santiago has something like a wagon or something like that. I'd like to check that out. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
because for how many? That's what it's 3 days, which means you got to backpack your clothes and everything in for 3 days.
Yeah. I mean, from what I hear, I could be wrong. Don't quote me. I think they said it was like a quarter mile in, so it's not that far. I think there's a little bit of a hill. So, I mean, you can go back and forth if you really have to. But you know what? I think we all talk about bugging out. So, like, even if you have some type of disability, you got to kind of learn if something happens, you got to kind of figure out what you need to do. So I think it's more of a fact that people just got to do it. They got to try it. You know what I mean? What's the big deal? You fail, you tell one of us, we'll help you, You
learn to
There's
adjust.
plenty of people. Yeah. I remember my sister Marie. I mean, I remember her talking about her bag, how she got it down so light and stuff like that. And I was really impressed. I was like, wow, you know what I mean? And she said she had a couple things going on, and so I was just like, good for her,
Yeah.
So if she can do it, most of us, we don't have any excuses,
Yeah.
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 All right, I'm going to cut this off here in 3 minutes. We've already been going an hour and 27 minutes.
Yeah.
Anything you guys want to say in the last 3 minutes?
Hey, it was a marvelous time. To me, it's like it just happened like yesterday. I was in the woods today and just thinking about the meetup that we had and saying, but God, we have to wait so long for the next one. So everyone that didn't make it, you got to be there next year, Zuni, Virginia. Also, I'm looking forward to the one in South Carolina. Yeah.
That's going to be a whole different atmosphere. That's going to be a field camping instead of forest camping. Whole different ballgame.
I'm sure it's going to be fun.
There will be a bigger fire. I can guarantee that.
And more wood.
Yeah.
I would say, you know what? If you're on the fence about showing up, and I would show up, because if you're really into prepping and stuff, there was classes, design classes, and then things came up, and you never know what you're going to learn or what you're going to do or who you're going to meet. And it's always good. I go to a lot, as many as I can, and you do meet people where they're your neighbors. You don't realize it. They're like, the next town over or whatever. And you make relationships, you learn stuff from them. And, it's good to show up to these things. And I guarantee you'll have fun. We all kind of poke fun at each other, but we all mean well. We're not, if I'm kind of giving you the business, that means I like you. So Steve, I really like you.
I know.
So, and he's a great person. If you get a chance to meet him, he's exactly the way he is on his videos. Just a down to earth, great person. With a lot of knowledge.
Thank you.
And a pyro.
Definitely. Both you guys are.
All right, y'all. I don't have anything else to say other than it was a fun time. It really was. It was a great time. We adapted to what we were given and to the circumstances that were thrown our way. But we had a good time. We clicked well. We worked well together. We learned a lot of things. We had a lot of fun. It was like brothers and sisters picking on each other.
Yeah.
And I think that was just awesome to be able to do that. And nobody got offended, which was great. But I really hope that you guys can make the next one. It was a small group this time. I understand part of that was because of the whole October 13th thing, and some of it was the weather. But one thing I want to say for those of you that didn't come because of weather, it's not going to be beautiful 70-degree weather on SHTF. So if you are not going to these things, whether it's mine or anybody else's because of weather, I hope I don't upset you, but I don't feel like that's an excuse for you to go to anybody's just because of inclement weather. You need to learn to adapt to inclement weather to be able to prepare yourself for things that may come. And I'm not saying that just for my meetup. I'm saying that for anybody's meetup. Don't let weather stop you from learning things. Take a chance. You've got people there that'll help you, like Jim said. And spring, we are looking at doing the meetup in South Carolina, which will be more field camping. And then next year, October, we're shooting for again in October, we are going to do another meetup in Zuni, Virginia, because it is a beautiful location. It is definitely a hidden gem. It looks like it's taking you the wrong way on GPS, but really it takes you in the middle of just a beautiful area. And the people that own the property are just amazing, amazing people. Very old school, very, country-like, just very nice. And I can't even think of the word that I'm trying to think of right now, but they're just great hosts. They really are. No matter what happens out there, you guys, with everything in the news, take everything carefully. Don't believe everything that they're showing in the news, but prepare accordingly. Prepare for everything to come on our grounds here in the United States. It can't stay away from us forever. So prepare the best you can, physically, mentally, spiritually, and keep your eyes open, your discernment strong, and be kind to each other, help each other, love each other. And as always, know that God is always in charge. Okay, guys? Have an amazing night. Much love.
Bye, everyone.